Hello and welcome to Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. I am Colred. Thank you for joining me. So last week I asked you if it would be helpful to you if I did a weekly planning video every Monday. And the answer was a resounding yes. Apparently players really liked the idea. And so we are back today and hopefully every Monday from now on to do another weekly planning video. We're going to take a look at the week ahead. We're going to focus on events and tournaments, figure out where any particularly good value happens to be. We're also going to remind you about all of the various timers so you don't miss out on any of the things you're supposed to be doing. And finally, we will consider any one-time important news drop that may come from Plarium or anything that is happening in-game that is not a normal weekly event. So you asked for it. I'm here to deliver. I hope you're ready. Let's get started. Just some quick channel news. Sonnet and I are working on an exciting new video series we plan to launch this weekend. And so this week's schedule of videos and live streams may be a little bit disrupted. I will still be live streaming tomorrow. That's my Takeover Tuesday live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're looking for a takeover or you just enjoy that stream, don't worry, that will be there as scheduled. But moving forward into the rest of the week, we're going to drop the Thursday live stream in order to prepare for this new video series. It's going to hopefully include a few collaborations with other content creators. We're really excited about it. We can't wait to tell you more, but we still have to get all of our ducks in a row and make sure we can launch this thing on time. So I appreciate your patience. Don't worry if you don't see a video or a live stream for a couple of days. We're working on something big and we're not going to be gone for long. All right, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and consider joining our Discord community. Now let's get to the week ahead. Okay, so we're going to do this in a bit of chronological order and also kind of by category. We're going to start with the timers for this week that you don't want to forget. Now, the shortest timer that we have right now is the clan quest. You can see I have just over 12 hours left on my clan quests. So make sure that you complete any clan quests that you have for this week today. By the time this video launches, you're not going to have a lot of time left. So that should be a focus there. Also remember that tomorrow, after this reset, you're going to want to go ahead and pick up your new quests for next week, according to whatever rules your clan uses for picking quests. Additionally, remember that the clan shop also resets at the same time. So if you are thinking about picking up any resources here before the week ends, you want to do that today, and then you'll get your new shop tomorrow. Just a few hours after the clan reset will be the launch of the new CVC. This week is personal rewards, so keep that in mind. Remember that if you haven't summoned any champions that you may have completed recently, either maybe the Queen and Cora fusion, or maybe you even got Archer from a recent tournament, you can hold on to those if you haven't summoned them already and use them for points during the CVC. As always, make sure you check in with your clan leadership about your goals for any particular CVC. Now, another timer that is coming up relatively quickly is Hydra. You have 1 day and 16 hours from the time of recording to complete your Hydra keys. And remember also, Hydra Clash resets at the same time. So if you're trying to reach some Hydra Clash goals, you want to make sure that you're doing that in the next day and 16 hours. I don't like to leave this to the absolute last minute. So tonight could be a good opportunity to work at least on one of your keys, and then you can do the rest tomorrow maybe, or whatever works best for your schedule. But don't leave it all until last minute, because remember that in a lot of cases, you have to manual some of these runs, and it can take several hours to complete all 3 keys. As for the rest of the major in-game activity resets, you can see here that Arena just reset. So if you have to remember to set that one-man defense in your 3v3 arena, for instance, so you can drop down and farm those gold bars more effectively, you want to do that today if you haven't already. And then remember, later in the week, I usually do it on Friday. You want to reset your defenses back up to full if you're trying to get promoted, or at least you don't want to drop down and get demoted in 3v3 arena. You can decide what to do in your classic arena, but I've already got my one-man defense set. I just basically leave it there all week. But if you're trying to get promoted, keep that full defense in. If you're trying to farm, you might want to think about a one-man defense. Now, Doom Tower just reset last week, so we still have over 3 weeks left on the current Dark Fae rotation. Don't forget to use your keys every day so you can push up as high as possible, and make sure also that you're farming materials. Just a quick note for Doom Tower, this is a really good tower to farm forged materials on. You can farm Dark Spheres or Fae Spheres or whatever they're called from Dark Fae. That allows you to forge the lethal set, I think, or the fatal set. I think it's the lethal set in the forge, which is one of the best damage dealing sets in the entire game. So you may want to be farming Dark Fae. You can also farm Griffin Feathers for the Guardian set, which is another excellent set in the forge. So make sure to use up your daily keys. But again, the reset's not happening for a while, so you have some time to climb all the way up and get your maximum resources. Now, Cursed City is about halfway through. We have 2 weeks remaining on Cintranos in this rotation. Again, don't forget to use your daily keys. You can swap between normal and hard mode to just make sure that you get all your keys done in a particular day, and then focus on the difficulty that makes the most sense for you in terms of getting gear and perhaps taking down Amius, who's the big boss there in Cintranos. Okay, so there are also several special events that are going on this week. Right now, you can see that we've just gotten a new summon pool for Prism Shards that just activated today. It'll be up for the next 4 days and 13 hours. It is a summon pool that is based on the Knights Revenant faction. There are a lot of good legendaries and epics available. The Prism Shard pulls are 35 shards per pull, and you can see the odds here: 7% chance of a legendary, 93% chance of an epic. It's a pretty good event there, and you can decide if you want to go for these Prism Shards or not. This will be up for the majority of the week, and we don't have all of the information on where the Prism Shards will come from, but we'll talk about that more when we get to the events and tournaments for the week. So consider if you want to go for a Prism Shard this week. You've got some time to decide. That does take us over to the Titan event that is ongoing. It's the Blade Master Titan event. You can still see we still have 6 days and 13 hours left for the Blade Master Titan event. So we're at about the halfway mark. Remember that every event or tournament will have this Blade Master Titan event banner on it, so you know at a glance which ones will actually give you points for the Titan event. Now, the Dungeon Divers event just started. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. We're going to look at the entire schedule there. But I did want to call something out, which is that the tournament that is currently happening today, it's actually ending today, is the Dragon Turn Attack. You can see it's just about 16 hours. There is also the Classic Arena Takedown that's ending, but that's a bit easier. The reason I wanted to mention the Dragon Turn Attack tournament is because there is also a drop rate event going on in Dragon. So here you can see there is a 3 times drop rate event on the Destroy set. Now, the Destroy set is a set that has sort of medium value. It's helpful in the Scarab boss. It's helpful in a few other places. You probably won't need a ton of these sets, but you may want to come and farm this turn attack even more than just the points that you need for the tournament itself if you're looking for some good destroy pieces. It's not the most valuable set. It's certainly not the worst set. Like I said, you're probably going to want a couple on your account, and now is a good time with the Dragon Turn Attack tournament already ongoing to go out and maybe invest a little bit of extra energy into this tournament if you want that set. Okay, so now we're actually going to look at the event calendar. Remember, we just discovered last week that there is actually an event calendar here in the Plarium Play app on PC. So if you're on PC, you can just go to the Home tab, and then you'll see this little icon up in the upper right-hand corner that says Events. You click on that, and you actually have a calendar of in-game events. Now, the ones at the top are the ones that don't seem to relate to the Blade Master Titan event. These are just additional things that are ongoing. So there is a progressive summoning boost that you can look at that is happening from the 27th to the 29th. Remember that we do expect a 2 times shard event this weekend, this upcoming weekend. So on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll have a 2 times event. So be careful about this progressive summon boost. You may not want to overpull shards unless maybe you're going for, you know, one of the Blade Master or one of the Monster Hunter champions. You can see here, you'll progressively increase your chances of summoning all of the Monster Hunter champions. So if there's a Monster Hunter champion that you are particularly interested in, it looks like this may be your last chance, because remember that the Monster Hunter event is actually ending. Basically, I think this is the last event. Once the Blade Master Titan event is over, I think we're done. I think that we're done. So that is something to consider. But remember, there's also a 2 times event for some shard. We don't know what kind of shard this weekend. I suspect it won't be Sacred Shards because we just had that last weekend. So they have reversed the order. It used to go Ancients, Sacreds, Voids, and last time it went Voids, Sacred's Ancients. So who knows what's going to follow these Ancients. It may even be a 2x Primal Shard event. We haven't had one of those in a while. But regardless of which shard it is, I would say you want to be very intentional about where you pull shards this week. Remember that we'll also have a fusion probably that'll be announced next week. So you're going to need your shards for that as well. So do you love the Monster Hunter Champions? Do you want to get a good 2x event, or do you want to just save for the next fusion? Those are your choices. Be aware of them. And like I said, be intentional. Okay, now let's talk about the rest of the Blade Master Titan event. As you can see, if you go forward on the calendar, they haven't actually updated any events past what was already available last week. They had all of the events through the end of this Titan event already listed. And now the only ones that they've added are the ones on top of the event. But we don't know about any tournaments or events past Sunday the 3rd or Monday the 4th. But one thing you do want to note here, there is a Dungeon Divers event that is associated with the Titan event, and it does have some Prism Crystals as a reward. You can actually go in game right now and see where those Prism Crystals are. There are some Blade Master points that are actually past the Prism Crystals. So if you are going for all of the Blade Master points, you will naturally pick up these Prism Crystals. You can also decide if the combination of the Prism Crystals and Blade Master points are worth maybe a full clear of this Dungeon Divers event. If you used last week's video and planned your Blade Master Titan event to get the 4-star soul, you'll know that you don't need those Dungeon Divers event points. But if you've missed some due to inactivity or making a mistake in the past week, there are those points that you could potentially go and get. Now, there are 2 tournaments that are going to be going or contributing points to that Dungeon Divers event. The first is the Dragon Tournament we already talked about. They're all turn attack tournaments. So hopefully you waited until today to do these points so that they all went into the Dungeon Divers event. And likewise, you can do all of your Ice Golem points and put all of those into the Dungeon Divers event. Because these are turn attack tournaments, they generally actually take fewer runs than a regular tournament. So you would need to spend additional resources on the Dungeon Divers event. And I would suggest you consider either overspending on the Dragon Tournament, especially if you're interested in that Destroy set, or on the Ice Golem Tournament, so that, you're still contributing to potentially winning one of those tournaments while you're getting points for the Dungeon Divers event, or just stop at the lowest mark you can on the Dungeon Divers event so you're not overspending and wasting energy there. Unfortunately, the Fire Knight Turn Attack Tournament that's at the end is not part of the Dungeon Divers event. It doesn't overlap. So that hopefully will be a nice, easy event to close out the Blade Master Titan event with. Now, there is an Artifact Enhancement event and also one final Champion Training event. I expect this Champion Training event to have a large number of points, at least 200, maybe 250 points. We'll have to see how that turns out. So potentially you can actually triple dip a little bit now in preparation, maybe in your Dragon Turn Attack Tournament or your Ice Golem Turn Attack Tournament, to get those points, the Dungeon Divers points, and maybe farm up a little bit of food in preparation for this last Champion Training event. Otherwise, just maybe stockpile those resources, those energy refills, maybe some gems, so you have the energy you need to do a Champion Training event. Because honestly, after the one that we just did for Ner Gigante Archer, I'm pretty sure everybody is resource poor. So start saving now, because that is coming on Thursday. Now, the final events are the Classic Arena Takedown, which, again, if you're just doing your regular arena, should be fine. But there may be resources there, specifically energy, that could help you out in that Champion Training event. So consider if you want to make sure that you're more active in Classic Arena to get all of the rewards, and that will help you in other places. Likewise, there's an Artifact Enhancement event. We know that that just takes silver. So again, you might want to save up your silver and not rebuild a bunch of teams over the course of the week. That also starts on Thursday. One last note, there has been news that there will be 2x Soulstone events coming in the future. We have no idea of the timeline. It might be next month. It might be 6 months from now. But apparently the game has been recoded to include the possibility of 2x Soulstone events. So like me, you may want to stockpile your stones for now. Or if you're trying to accomplish something in Centranos and you're getting a little bit stuck, maybe you want to pull those soul stones. That's a new choice that we have to make. It didn't really used to matter as much before, but with 2x events on the horizon, it may be worth saving as well. Some soulstone. Okay, that is it. I wish you good luck this week. I hope you complete the Blade Master Titan event to whatever objective you are shooting for, if that's the 4-star soul or the full clear, or maybe just the 1 or 2-star soul. And I hope this video helps you get there. Definitely let me know in the comments below what I can do to improve this video for you. I appreciate all the feedback. It's something new that we're trying, and we want to make it as good as possible. That is it for me. I have been Colred. Thank you for hanging out. I will see you in another video soon.